Nicolas Maduro was elected in April 2013 after the death of Hugo Chavez. His socialist government is largely to blame for the country's economic decline. He was re-elected in May 2018 largely because the opposition was jailed. The National Assembly did not recognize this re-election, claiming that the unfair election left the presidency vacant.
The issue going on in Venezuela, in a brief sentence, is that we live under a dictatorship and there's a lot of corruption in the government. There are no human rights. It's a humanitarian crisis. People are dying for the lack of medicines, the lack of food. More than 80% of the country right now lives in poverty, when this is the country with the largest oil reserves in the world. There is not a definition at home of a person is rich, middle class, and poor. We're all struggling economically because the economy has reached to a point where it's incredibly bad.
I know people are fleeing, like 3 million people have fled.
Nicolas Maduro is a dictator. He claims to be the president of Venezuela, but he's not. Constitutionally, he's not anymore. Nicolas Maduro is a dictator.
I know he's a bad guy. Other than that, I have no idea.
I hate him. I absolutely hate Nicolas Maduro. He has separated me and millions of people from their families. My parents still live back in Venezuela, and all of the people that I love are literally scattered around the world. My best friends live in Europe, in the United States. They're scattered around the world. I'm here away from my mom, away from my dad, and I had to come to the United States to seek for a better future for myself, so one day I can provide for my parents the same way they have provided for me these past 20 years of my life. In such a short period of time, we have gotten the support of over 40 countries. Most importantly, the United States. They are helping us to get the humanitarian aid for people who are dying, terminal cancer patients, people who have kidney issues and they need all the medicines, people who need the food. In the United States, Brazil, so many countries are becoming allies just so they can help us in a democratic way, and eventually we can go to elections. I wish that I could be in my home country, having a normal life like everyone normally has in their own home country, working somewhere, making a living back at home, but unfortunately I cannot. It affects my entire family.
I'm not personally affected by this issue. Other than the fact I have a friend who I love dearly, who is from Venezuela, and I'm only affected by worrying about how she's feeling.
It has been a mismanagement of government. They have stolen the power. People don't have any rights, and it's incredibly heartbreaking, but we are praying and we all hope that we move on and that we can get out of this horrible government that has been on the power for 20 years.
So I think we just need to learn more. I mean, I know it's been on the news and stuff, and I see people posting about it, but I think I'm very kind of aware of what's going on, especially in the United States. I follow it very closely, and I'm almost embarrassed to say I have no idea what's going on there. Yeah, I think it's a bad feeling. It's like when you know something's wrong, but you don't do anything, you're a bystander, so you get that in the pit of your stomach. I think that's what I'm getting.
I want people to know and be aware that we are just trying to restore democracy. We all want a change. We need it because it reached to the point where it can no longer keep going on. And I want people to know that by vocalizing this issue, by sharing it with friends, their families, if you see a news on Twitter, retweet it, be aware of what's happening, and that what is going on in Venezuela, it's inhumane and it's a dictatorship. We all want a change, that we need Maduro out of power immediately, that we need to get rid of him and his people, and that all we want is democracy because nobody wants them in power. We're tired of this situation.